All right, everybody. Oops, sorry about that. All right, we are on lesson 1-6, locating points on a coordinate plane. All right, coordinate plane is that quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4 thing that you guys just love. All right, so we are locating points. Okay, but I would assume it's probably not going to be that easy. It is not. All right, locating points on the coordinate plane with fractional distance. Okay, so in our last lesson, we learned how to do it on a number line. Now you're going to learn to do it on a coordinate plane. So that means you have to have an x value and you have to have a y value. All right, so again, same concept here. Your AB is your fractional distance. You have a initial point, you have a terminal point. You're going to subtract those two, multiply by the fractional distance, add to the initial. For the y, same thing. Your initial y plus the fractional of the y2 minus y1. Okay, so you know what? Let's just get into it. All right, we are in example number 1. I'm on page 43 of your workbook. If you're following along on your workbook, all right, I'm on page 43. All right, so here it goes. Example 1, find C on AB. So it's going to be somewhere between A and B. That is 3/4 the distance from A to B. So A is your initial point, B your terminal point, because it says it's going from A to B. Initial, terminal. Okay, so we need to, first off, they want us to find out what our very first coordinates are. So x1, y1 would be -7, -5, and my terminal point, 6, 8. Remember, x is -7, x is a 6, and your y's are the -5 and the 8. All right, step number 2. Okay, so they want me to fill in some information here. So my first x is the -7. To this, I'm going to add 3/4 of x2 minus x1. So it's going to be 6 minus -7. All right, now that's going to get me my x value. Now let's talk y value. The -5 is my initial y. I'm going to add 3/4 of 8 minus -5. Okay. Okay, so they did a solution for me, which is nice. 6 minus a -7 is 13. Take 3/4 of that, add that to -7. Looks like we're going to get 2.75. And then 8 minus -5 is the same thing as 8 plus 5 times 3/4, and then add the -5. Looks like we're going to end up with 4.75. And I am done with example number 1. So I'm going to turn the page, go to page 44, and look at the check here. All right, it says find P on QR. That is 1/6 of the distance from Q to R. All right, so I'm going from Q to R. You got to learn how to read this, everybody. Q would be my initial point, R my terminal point. And that means Q is x1, y1. Looks like it's going to be a -2, -5. R, my terminal point is 4, 7. So Q is -2, -5. And R over here is 4, 7. I'm going to find 1/6 of that. Okay, so let me do this for you guys. Okay, remember, my initial x value was -2. I'm going to add 1/6 of that, but I have to subtract my x's. So it's going to be 4 minus -2. And that's going to get me my x value. Okay, now I got to do my y value. My initial y value was -5. I'm going to add 1/6. And then the difference between the y on the R and the y on the Q. So that's going to be 7 minus, and then over here was -5. Okay, so here is my x. Here is my y. Okay, so 4 minus a negative 2, we're doing order of operations, is 6. 1/6 times its reciprocal is 1. So negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. All right. Over here, 7 minus a negative 5 is the same thing as 7 plus 5 is 12. 1/6 times 12. Well, what's 12 divided by 6? That's 2. And then negative 5 plus 2, and it's going to be a negative 3. So it looks like your answer is going to be negative 1, negative 3. If I can remember how to do order of operations, an ordered pair. I guess I just want to do this. Negative 1. Negative, oh Lord. Negative 1, negative 3. Okay, there we go. Boom. All right, looks like I am done with my check, so I'm going to move on. In the middle of page 44. All right, locating points on the coordinate plane with a given ratio. Okay, so this should look very familiar to you. This is the same formula we did in the previous lesson, but now we have an x value and we have a y value. Remember, m is your top or your numerator. N is your bottom or the denominator. Okay. Let's see here. Let's get to example number 2. All right, it says find C on AB. There's my AB, so C is somewhere in between them. It says the ratio from A to C and C to B is half. Really? They want halfway? Okay. So it's going to be like right. Oh, no. Oh. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go with this. All right. So M is 1. N is 2. All right, they fill in some information for us. They fill in all the information for us. They did this problem for us. Well, no wonder I'm confused. Okay. 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 Well, yeah. There you go. Okay. Anyway, N was your 2. Your first X was the negative 5 plus the M is the 1, right, because that's your top number, times the second X in your problem is 6. And that's going to be over 1 plus 2 because it's M plus M. All right, so 2 times negative 5 is a negative 10, plus 6 is a negative 4. On the bottom, 1 plus 2 is 3, so negative 4 over 3. Same thing for your Y value. Just plugging and chugging, I suppose. Okay, so here we go. We got a check here on page 45. So we got to find S on QR. So the ratio from Q to S and S to R is 2 to 1. Okay. Okay, so M is 2. Let's say it one more time. M is 2. N is 1. All right, so our Q value is negative 2, negative 5. Negative 2, negative 5. My R value is 4, 7. 4, 7. Okay, and they don't give me a lot of place to do this, so go right here. All right, let's do our top. Now, remember, this is my X value. X value that's on top. And I wish they would give me something better to type this with, but go with me, everybody. All right, got 1 times negative 2 plus 2 times 4. And that's all going to be over 2 plus 1. Now, remember, this is all your X. Okay, let's do Y. All right, so we got 1 times negative 5 plus 2 times 7 And this is, again, all over 2 plus 1. This is my y value. All right, so let's do some math here. 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. 2 times 4 is 8. Negative 2 plus 8 is negative 6 over 3. I'm sorry. 6, regular 6 over 3. All right, over on the y, 1 times negative 5 is negative 5. 2 times 7 is 14, so 14 minus 5 is 9. And that's going to be over 2 plus 1 is 3. Okay, 6 divided by 3 is 2. 9 divided by 3 is 3. Looks like we got the order pair 2, 3. The answer is B, everybody. All right, there's our check. All right, moving on to example number 3. Okay, got a zip line here. So Kendrick is riding a zip line. The zip line is 1,800 meters long. Okay, that's your distance, and starts at a platform of 600 meters above the ground. After he jumps, someone takes a picture of his descent. Woo! When the picture is taken, the ratio of the distance Kendrick has traveled to the distance he has remaining is 1 to 2. All right, the picture will show the horizontal distance from 400 meters to 1,200 meters from the base of the platform, and the vertical distance from the ground to the level is a height of 500 meters. Okay, will Kendrick be in the frame of the picture? Okay, so the first thing they did is the Pythagorean theorem to find ground distance. So they gave the distance of the zip line and they gave the vertical height. But we need to find the ground distance. So that's the very first thing they did was the Pythagorean theorem. So they did a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So 600 squared plus x squared is 1,800 squared. And they did the math for you. So the ground distance is about 1,697.1 meters. Okay, step number 2. All right, so model the area captured by the photograph. So this must be what the photograph is. I want to turn your page on your workbook there to page 46. And we're getting ready to do our formula. Okay, so looks like they did a lot of it for us. So let's see. So let me go back here. So M is 1, N is 2. M is 1, N is 2. So there's my 2 for N. M is 1, and then 1 plus 2 on the bottom. There it is. N is 2. M is 1, and then on the bottom is 1 plus 2. So if you're wondering where these other numbers came from, remember, we had to find the ground distance to know where the terminal point was. So my initial point is, okay, he's gone up this vertical height, so he's standing on this platform at 0, 600. Zip line comes all the way down, and here's your terminal point of 1,697.1 meters, 0. So that's where these numbers come from. So this is x1, y1, x2, y2. So that's how they're getting 0. And then the 1697.1. And then the y values, the initial y is 600. And then your terminal y is 0. And they just did the math here. So they did the x value for us, which is super nice. So grab your calculator. 2 times 600 is 1,200 plus nothing, because 1 times 0 is 0. Do 1,200 divided by 3. It looks like it should be 400. So your answer for the y value is 400. And yes, there it is, 400. And since there's your distance right there, he's most definitely in the frame. All right, fantastic. Okay, last problem. We got a check here, bottom of page 46. All right, Andre is traveling from Jefferson to Springfield. He plans to stop for a break when the distance he has traveled and the distance he has left to travel have a ratio of 3 to 7. Where should Andre stop for his break? Okay. All right, so he's traveling from Jefferson to Springfield, which means Jefferson is his initial point. There's your x1, y1. Springfield is his terminal point. X2, y2. M is 3, N is 7. M is 3, N is 7. All right, you guys, all you're going to do, go back to this formula, start plugging and chugging. Start plugging and chugging. All right, visual people, you know I love you. This is what I do this. Okay, I want to do X first. All right, so on top, we have 7 times negative 15. I'm going to add, excuse me, 3 times 25. And all of this is over 3 plus 7. Yeah, I'm just going to do the X value. Because a lot of times on a multiple choice test, that's going to tell you what it is anyway. All right, so 7 times negative 15 plus 3 times 25 is 75. And then I'm going to divide that by 10 because 3 plus 7 is 10. Looks like I get negative 3. So my X value is negative 3. Oh, there it is. The answer is C. Because that's the only one that has negative 3 for the X value. All right, you guys, I am done. There it is. Negative 3 and a 6.5. And I'm done. The practice problems are all you. Have any questions? Let me know. You guys have a great day.